All right, guys, so first things first, what I like to do before unbrazing anything, I like to clean it with some sandpaper. And I mean, you don't have to do this. I like to do it because we know what we're trying to do is heat this up so it could pop off, right? So any dirt, any crud on it is going to change the melting point of the metals. So I just like to get it nice and clean so it could pop right off. You don't have to get crazy with it, just clean it up a little bit. Alrighty. Said here we have our torch. This is going to take pretty low heat. It's not big pipe, so. Alright guys, so first you're going to open up your acetylene. Not too much. You want to, and then you crack open your oxygen. We don't really need that high of a flame. We're not burning that big of pipe. That should be good there. You always want, I always heat up the coupling portion. And kind of move my flame up and down. As you can see, it didn't take that much to take that off. So I don't know if you saw that, it might have been pretty quick. So just heat it up and down. I heat up the coupling. As soon as you start seeing that silver start to run, you can start pulling up on it. Alright guys, so we'll be taking off this line over here. I kind of cleaned it up a little bit down there. It's kind of a hard grab just because of where it's at and how high the unit's sitting. But let me grab my torch and hopefully we can take this out. I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit because the pipe that it's actually going into is a little larger. We just want a little more heat to make it come out easier. And there we go. You always want to spray down after, just in case. You never know if you'll catch some insulation or something, you know. Alright, now we're ready to take off the other portion of this. Just give it a nice little cleaning. I always like to check what would be the easiest way to pull something out. So before I put the torch on, I establish what I'm going to do. Kind of plan out your attack, right? right. So like I said, I like to heat up the coupling portion of it, and move the flame around. You'll start seeing when the silver starts melting, and then that's when you could start trying to pull it up. As you can see, it's starting to. Has quite a bit, so I'm gonna heat it up. I don't want to get stuck when we start pulling up. It's on there tight. You see that bottom flame? It's just from the rubber of like the hose clamp that's on there. Just a patience thing. And here it goes. And that's why you carry water. No harm, no foul. Okay, so now we're gonna clean all our pipes, right? Before we put in the new TXV, we want everything nice and clean so we don't have to worry about improper sealing when we start to braze. You're gonna find that the cleaner it is, the easier all that that brazing rod's gonna run around everything, or that silver. When I first started off, I would get impatient and I wouldn't clean, and I would be like, man, why isn't this sealing? Then well, I learned that lesson the hard way by having to go back and clean. So now I take my time, I make sure that copper is bright as a new penny, and then I start my brazing. Okay, so I already cleaned all the copper. Now to install our new TXV. So first, you know, try not to damage anything. Sometimes it's a little hard just because you have no space. So I'm gonna try to make it nice and snug in there. Once you heat up, it'll kind of fall into place. We know this line has to go down here. Make its way into this hole down there. Ooh. Like I said, sometimes you just got to be patient with all this stuff. You know, not press too much. Believe me, I have a heavy hand. I have messed up my share of things. But yeah, just patience. You know. Must have some silver right there. I won't let it come in all the way. Anyways, all right, so we have everything staged here. What I am gonna suggest is that either you wrap this power head here with a cold rag, or you could use some heat blocking paste, which I have. Let me go grab that. Just because you don't want to apply too much heat and damage the power head. All right, so here I have some thermal trap, and I'm just gonna spray this around our body here. Just because we don't want it to get damaged. Like I said, if you don't have thermal trap, you could use a wet rag and wrap it around it. Sometimes it works better because once this thermal trap stuff starts heating up, kind of gives it like a stain that you have to clean up after. I mean, depending on how clean you are with your work, you know. So then you want to make sure you have none of that thermal trap anywhere you're gonna braze. Like I said, you always want to make sure everything's really clean. And looks like we are ready. So let me grab a rod or 2 rods. You always want to have one extra. You don't want to go back to your caddy when you have a good flame going. Get a nice little flame. Start heating this up. As you can see there, it starts sinking in, right? Starts coming in. It already has some old silver on there, so it'll start making its little, start sealing. So I like to heat up everything. Keep moving my flame around. That silver that I see there, I'll use it to my advantage. Start making a little bridge and sealing it up. Make sure I get the back side. As you can see, I grab my rod now. And when you're brazing, what I like to do is I like to stroke it like a paintbrush. See? If you can see that. And the metal will tell you if it's hot enough to run. If not, it'll stick. Your brazing rod will stick. So boom, see? And you could just make that silver just run around. It's just gonna follow the heat. So like I said, I do like a little paintbrush strokes on it. The hardest part is, you know, your back. If you can't see it, you just have to trust that you're heating it up enough. And but you could tell because your silver will start just flowing all around. You start getting it sinking in. So the lower you go, the more you're going to sink it in. As you can tell, it's changing colors there. That's just your silver sinking in. And you just want to go around the whole fitting. You know, bring all that silver all around. Make sure you hit the back. Feed it. And just bring that silver around. I like to take my time because I really don't want to put nitrogen in there and then find a leak. So it's just better to be patient with these when it comes to brazing. Alright, so let's hit the top here. The top has a lot of silver. As you can see, I'm just pushing it in before that heat travels up. Boom. I don't even know if I'll need the rod. Make it all sink in. That looks like a good seal to me. We'll dab it a little bit. Make it go all the way around. Like I said, that silver is just gonna follow the flame. So once you got a good flame on there, you should be good. Alright. Alright, and our last step will be this line in. Grab it, make sure it goes all the way around. Put a little more for good measure. Better safe than sorry, right? That should be it. So what I do is I'll spray everything down, make sure it cools off. I'm running out of water here. And after, I'll check it with a mirror. I'll go around the back, make sure it's sealed, make sure everything's sealed around the back, and that's it. That's replacing the TXV. Now we'll be going to the filter dryer. We'll replace the filter dryer, and then we could pump this up with nitrogen and check for leaks. All right, here we are at the filter dryer. We'll do the same thing, or what I like to do. Clean it. Makes it easier when you're gonna take something off. You're not burning all that built up. Same to the bottom. Okay, and now we're ready to take it off. So here I'm gonna unbrace from the top first, so you still have the support here, and then after it'll be easier just to pull up from the bottom. So very low flame, it's not big pipe, so like I said, I like to heat up the fitting part. Once you start seeing that silver, start to run. You can pull up and it should come right off. One more thing that you always want to do when you're taking off a filter dryer, especially when it isn't a heat pump, is make sure you see what direction the arrow on your dryer is going. 'Cause that's the same direction you're gonna have to put your new filter dryer in. So on this one, arrow is pointing up, so we got to make sure that our dryer is going in the up position, since this is not a heat pump. When it's a heat pump, it'll be by flow and it won't matter what position you mounted it. All right, so we let the pipe cool down. Sand it. Make sure it's nice and clean. Make sure you put the arrow going up, because that was the way it was. And we don't want to cause no restrictions. It may not fit snug. Just place it like snug enough that it'll stay in place. And once you start heating it up, you'll see that it'll suck in. So let me grab my torch and another rod. So you'll heat up there, the fitting, that heat will start traveling. You could either have it sucked in or push it in yourself. It doesn't take much. Like I said, you could follow it all around. We'll dab it up with a little new, and you can see it flow right there. Just make sure you put your flame all around the dryer, or all around the coupling, I should say. And bam. Now you come to the bottom, same thing, heat up the coupling, move your heat around. And you'll just start seeing it flow all around. All that leftover solder that was there from the last time You could just drag it up. It's just gonna follow your flame. Put some new. And it'll just follow your flame. And that's it.